What's good? This is The Truth Hurts. I'm your host, Jeff Weiss.
Truth Hurts. I'm Rosecrans Vic.
Truth hurts, I'm free.
What's going on? We are doing this podcast because we don't really like podcasts that much.
That's a good reason to start. That's a good reason to start. I hate everything.
Yeah.
So let me start some shit I don't hate.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. I think there's a great honor in being a hater. I think that's what, but
Yeah.
also because I think when you hate something, it actually means you really love something else.
That's
Right.
true.
Yeah.
A better version of it.
Yeah.
I feel like hate has been such like a, people are like, stop hate. Like, I don't know. I don't agree completely.
So I have a lot of thoughts on this, as you might understand. All right, it really traces back to the concept of the player hater, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And who came up with the concept of the player hater? One Sean Diddy Combs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we actually all know the nefarious things that Puffy has been up to for 20, 30, 40 years,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And like just a litany of bad things. So, right, maybe Puffy came up with the idea of the player hater to deflect from his own shortcomings
Yep.
and the evil things that he was
that
perpetuating.
he was doing.
Yep.
Because he
people
was,
felt
Yeah.
like he was weird. So he like, nah, y'all just player haters.
y'all player hating.
Yep.
What I'm doing.
Yep.
Y'all don't understand it. Player haters.
Yeah.
Yep.
So actually, yeah, I think actually it proves that Suge Knight was right after all, and the West Coast has won again.
He was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it turns
No,
out.
for real.
No, that is one of my favorite things, though, is like if you go around LA long enough, as you guys know, someone
Yeah.
will always be like, actually, Suge Knight's a pretty good guy.
Yeah.
My
I've
dad,
heard it too.
My dad would tell me that all the time, no joke. He would like see him at the Four Seasons, and he's like, Suge Knight? I was like, Dad, what? And he's like, he's a real gentleman. He'd be like,
Comes from a good family.
Right.
does he?
Yeah.
Did Suge Knight? Yeah.
Yeah, it comes from a good family in Compton. You know, it's like, that was like still when Compton was like middle class and
Yeah.
like, like he went to college, he had like a good education.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
You know what I'm
He
saying?
almost
It's
made
like,
the NFL. I think he might have made it like a practice
yeah,
squad.
he
to the
did. Yeah,
NFL.
he was on the Rams for
Yeah.
a couple years.
Yeah. Suge Knight.
Is he got
I don't
life?
know. I don't know if you should free him or not.
No.
But like, I like the concept of Suge Knight, like in general. Like, he did a lot of bad things, but also like did a lot of good things too.
Right.
Turkey
What is
drives.
his like current charges as we speak of what he went to jail for?
That was for running over.
running over a guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
The guy who used to be his friend.
And getting caught?
Yeah.
But did he die?
It was on the set.
He did die.
He
He
did
did die.
die.
Okay,
it was on
rest
the
in
set of
peace.
actually Straight Outta Compton. It was like a whole thing.
Yeah, it was
about
at the
like,
Tams.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So what they give him for that? Life?
Not life, but like 20,
He took a
30
plea- he
years
took a plea
or
deal.
something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually just seen that he lost a settlement for like 1.5 million. I'm
I
like,
actually think Suge Knight has a podcast.
yeah.
So maybe we don't hate all podcasts.
True.
True.
Yeah.
And I like that Suge Knight and Cat Williams are very good friends.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but that's
something that just-
they're great. I'm like, that's kind of cool.
I
Yeah.
think so much about the Source Awards where he was like,
Any artist out there want to be an artist and want to stay a star, and don't want to have to worry about the executive producer trying to be all in the video, all on the record, dancing. Come to Death Row.
It was the subtle shade so like early in the game before shade was a thing.
yeah.
yeah.
Niggas was taking shots early. That wasn't
Yeah.
even a thing like that to get
No.
on public camera and just start dissing niggas.
Yeah,
there
was no
wasn't a thing
Instagram
like how it
then.
is
At an
now.
award show.
At an award
In-
show was
in
so
New York.
ghetto, and I loved it. And I
Yeah,
watched it live as a kid. Because what did he say it at the BET Awards?
No, it was the Source Awards.
Source Awards.
See, that's when Source used to be on TV, but you know why they stopped Source, y'all? Because all them damn fights and all them shootings of the East Coast versus the West Coast.
Yeah.
That's why they stopped it.
Really what pushed it over the top was Young Buck stabbing somebody with a butter knife.
Which is a terrible thing
That's
to
a
stab.
terrible
That's
thing
like
to
the problem
do.
with Young Buck. Because like on some level, it's like
He like, I couldn't bring the thing in, so I went to the closest thing.
you couldn't get a steak knife.
He got a
Right.
butter knife to defend Dr. Dre. It's hilarious.
But, yeah.
All these stories sound so made up, but
Yeah,
like they're
but
100%
they're
real.
real.
I love that.
Yeah. He wasn't even from the West Coast. He was from Nashville.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Young
loved
Buck.
him. You know, when I was a kid, y'all, fun fact, I used to love Let Me In by him. When I heard that, I was like, whoa, what is this? Like, it was a different type of rap. Also, too, I really thought Nashville, Like I didn't resonate it to Cashville. So when he's like, he's from Cashville, I'm like, oh, he from Cashville. My sister was like, fool, it's Nashville.
What did you think like Cashville was like
I
a different
thought it was a place in Kentucky or wherever it is. It's Kentucky, right? No, Tennessee.
Tennessee.
I thought it was a place in Tennessee that I just knew nothing about. Because I want to say G-Unit came out when I was in 6th grade. I wanted the G-Units. There was this rich Asian girl that had them. So I'm like, oh, you got the G-Units. Let me see them in person. Because, you know, nobody was buying their kids $200 shoes back then.
Yeah.
So I was like really infatuated with the G-Unit. And like I signed like the game mostly. And I signed my yearbook Games Girl. I still have it.
Games Girl.
Yes, it's my 8th grade yearbook.
It's never too late, by the way.
Yeah.
And now that like
Jason's
I know
around.
Games,
He's still
like,
outside.
now that like I see him and like I cross paths with him indirectly, I don't know him. It just makes me laugh because I'm like, damn, I've been involved but not involved since a kid with the music shit. But yeah.
So one of my favorite game stories, and this kind of dovetails into kind of, you know, each of us has our own thing that we're bringing to it. I've been a journalist for too long, I forget how many years, but one time I didn't, when the LA Weekly used to exist, I did a game cover. So I spent like a lot of time with the game for like a period of a month. Yeah. And I like the game. I think he's like a pretty, I mean, there's like, you can pick some flaws of things that he's done.
He
but
do
like,
you do some questionable shit.
I'm
Red
generally
Bull,
pro game.
white ceiling.
I'm
Right.
pro game. I'm pro game. Let that be clear. Like,
I'm pro game, but
no, so in the course of the interview, like at one point, do you remember like he like had his fans like call the sheriff's department to like flood the thing, and the sheriffs like investigated him, and he was like almost charged with something. Anyways, he did this in the middle of like the interview.
Wow.
And you know, we're rolling around with game, and it's cool, and like this is gonna be lost, I think, on everybody listening to this, but for some reason I decided that there's like a famous play by Arthur Miller called Death of a Salesman, and it's about this character named Willie Loman, who's like always just like trying to make a sale, and it's kind of like a little bit of a sad situation. Anyways, Game was, you know, like his 4th album, so I somehow made it Death of a Salesman themed. I don't know. Somebody should have edited me, honestly. It was like, why are you letting me do this?
Right.
But
So
now,
the 4th album, just for reference, that was the Red album?
it was the Red album, and it was the one Martians. It was actually a
Martians and
solid album.
Goblins.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was a
that was
solid
good.
album. Yeah, but like the LA Weekly had the worst artistic director ever. He was so stupid, and like so was the Red album. So all he had to do for the cover in my mind was like just have Game in like a red casket and a red suit, and it would have been the hardest cover ever. Instead, this motherfucker gets him painted in gold. It's like with all these like naked girls painted in gold on
What
the
the
cover.
hell?
And you're like, bro, it's called the Red Album. Why is he in gold?
Right.
Yeah, why is he in gold?
The article comes out.
It must have been around the time Goldmember was popular.
Totally.
It just came out on DVD. I don't know.
Yeah,
Gold hit
totally.
a whole
It was
like
Austin
time.
Powers
It had
themed.
its time.
Yeah. And then, so I'm like, the article comes out, I don't really hear from Game. I'm like on La Brea, by the Union Store. Union Store, shout out,
Shout out my boy, Doughboy.
Yeah, and we're by the Union Store. I'm like walking down the street, and I hear a car honking at me on La Brea. And I look, and it's a guy in a Range Rover, like all blacked out Range Rover. He rolls down the window, and it's Game, and he just looks at me and goes,
For those that don't know, so you flip somebody
Yeah,
off.
he just hit me with the bird. I was like, you gotta be
Why did
pro
he do
Game.
it that way?
I don't know, it's so funny.
He could have just been like this.
It's
You know
so
when I
funny.
learned that was on FIFA. When my brother used to play FIFA, that was one of the things they used to do.
Like
I think he was
emote?
just being funny.
Like, I don't know
Yeah.
why.
Hopefully he doesn't hate me, so if Game is not gonna watch this, but if
Yeah.
he does, hit up
He
free.
might.
If he does, hit up free.
That is,
She was Game's girl.
that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, like the documentary came out and I was
Yeah.
just like, oh my God. Like, I'm from a small town. I'm from Bakersfield, California. I know, spoiler, you guys. Everybody thinks I'm from LA.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got into it. I got into the music industry shit like 5 years ago. I started doing interviews. I created my own YouTube channel. Well, I had the YouTube channel because years ago when I was younger, I went viral with Kevin Edwards Jr. He's a really famous gamer. And we did like a lot of skits. Before there was like Pretty B and all of like the gaming skit people, it was us. And we went viral like millions. We were in like World Star Hip Hop's funniest compilations at the end of the year, like Vines. So I gained my following on YouTube from that. But I just like ghosted the YouTube channel. So then since I had the followers, I decided it's the pandemic, like everybody's kind of like not doing anything. Let me just see what all my rapper friends are doing.
Scamming.
Because, yeah, they were scamming
Scamming.
in jail.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know, because I had kind of got introduced to being in the industry first, probably with Jay Nari. Shout out to Jay Nari, that's my best friend, the music producer. So he kind of brought me around. And once he kind of brought me around, I kind of like, you know, gained my own traction type shit. So I knew a lot of different people. Started the channel, then I'm really good friends with Draco. It's actually crazy because how I met Draco was like so randomly. And I pulled up on Draco one night and it was literally him and the Stink team. I was by myself. He's like, you wanna go to this concert with me? I'm like, well, I'm by myself. And when I pulled up into this random gas station, there was a whole bunch of foreigns in the parking lot. He came to the car and he was like, oh, you really by yourself, nigga? And I'm like, yeah, I'm by myself. Like, so we went to this. It was this really little ghetto ass concert in the backyard in Maywood. And it was like, he was performing and it was like congested and then it was just shooting and I just started running with the Stink team.
What year was this?
This was 2017.
Okay.
So I started running with the Stink team outside. We were illegally parked. If you knew anything about Draco, he loved parking illegal. That was his shit.
Well, yeah, Draco just loved hanging out in parked cars.
Yeah, he just loved that. So after that, he went to jail. We continued to talk while he was in jail, like the whole 3.5 years, and that's how me and you met.
Yeah, I thought her name was Lucy Monroe because that was her social media thing.
Yeah.
And then
It's my alias.
Yeah.
we would talk all the time, and then it would just be me and Draco, and then somehow Lucy Monroe would get patched in. And like 6 months later, I was like, yeah, that girl Lucy Monroe, she's cool. He's like, what are you talking about? He's like, you mean free? I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, and then we became really close, and we would spend countless hours talking to Draco on the phone from jail.
on
Like,
the phone.
the night before he got out, I remember like we couldn't. It was the three of us talking.
Yeah, that morning.
Yeah,
And that morning we all were on three-way and you were talking about him about to get out. He's like, I'm gonna get out probably by 12. I had just put my car in the shop and I took half of my braids out, y'all. So it was like, my hair wasn't done.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why do you wanna get out today? There's gonna be pictures taken. And he was like, I'm getting out. And I got my car and I went straight to LA. But fast forward back, me and you became close. Jeff came to every single court date, even the court dates that I couldn't come to because they were at 9 o'clock in the morning. And like I said, I live in Bakersfield. He came to every single court date. He wrote all the organic articles on Draco, and he's a very good person. He has a good soul. And I knew that me and you would connect through the energy.
Yeah.
So it continued. We built the friendship. And then I started writing articles. As a matter of fact, the first person that ever let me write for them was you. And it was a tribute once Draco passed away, rest in peace to my friend. It was a tribute to him about, so you had like a series in your blogs thing, Passion of the Weiss, that was like, basically take a Draco song and write your experience about it. So I did mine on Energy. His song that he dropped when he got out of jail, like keep the same energy was like the concept of the song. And I really respected you after that because I never wrote an article. So for you to like allow me, I'm gonna start crying, for you to allow me to write an article on Draco, like somebody that we both valued, and to trust my journalism, I really respected you for that because that was the first article I ever wrote. And then after that, Cerise, shout out to Cerise, she discovered me and asked me to start writing music articles for Knocked LA. So I have like 19 published music articles out right now for the small little, independent newspaper out here. And it just opened so much doors for me. And then from that, I started doing the A&R stuff off of my connections, and I dropped my own mixtape, Free World Order, based around my channel, because my channel's name is Free World Order, if you guys don't know, but you should know by now. I done did every nigga that done came and gone, down to like Money Sign Suede, rest in peace, Peso, Drakeo the Ruler, rest in peace, Slow B, rest in peace. I've done everybody you could think of. I even had Shooter Gang VJ on my tape, and he died a week later, which was so ironic and weird to me and eerie. But the fact that he trusted me and gave me that record before he even met me in person, it just like really touched me. So that's my story and how I kind of got connected. I met Vic through Jeff.
Yeah.
You see how the game works? The connections. I would run into you at events all the time. We'd see each other, but we never knew each other.
Yeah.
And Jeff introduced me more to you. And from seeing you, I just was like, he's quiet.
Yeah.
Like the niggas, because I'm really outspoken, but I be with introverts. All of my main homies, mine is Draco, are introverts. But he was an introvert too, though, if he didn't fuck with you.
Yeah.
So I always knew Vic had a good, a heart. I always knew you were a good person. I respected what you did as well in the game as an interviewer. So you know, when Jeff hit me, like, do you want to be a part of the podcast? Once again, I was like, oh my God, Jeff's considering me. Like, you guys have to understand, I come from Bakersfield. We have them now, but we had no musical connection, like a loop. Like, I had to go out in the field and interview and hit up all of these artists myself. I had to build my own shit outside of the fact that everybody wants to fuck me, everybody wants to do the interviews and then not promote them after if they don't get to fuck, and you're not fucking. It's like probably a couple niggas in the industry I've talked to. You know
We're
what I
gonna have a
mean?
separate free dating show.
Like, you know,
that'll be our spin-off
Pop the balloon
podcast.
with
Yeah.
free-
You know, right? 20 plus one, like.
Whiskey is over.
You know, so being a female, it wasn't easy. And I know females get on the thing and they say it's, you know, I know everybody thinks we exaggerate when we say it's hard being a female in the game. It is very hard being a female in the game, but it's harder being from a small city where you get the love and support once you get on, you know? And so I had to branch out. And I thank every single artist that gave me those first 70 interviews, because after 70, they couldn't fuck with me. Like, you all really could. I have like 100 and something. So I thank everybody that helped build the channel, the ones that are still here with us, the ones that have left. You know, I built a lot of connections. I'm still really close with Suede's family. I'm still really close with Draco's family. You know, I just make sure that I just remember. And I think that's where people fuck up in this game. They always want to backdoor somebody for some money. That's a lot of the things that producers and rappers are going through right now. I have a lot of producer friends, and rappers want to like take their beats and not pay them their compensation, or other people want to take people's songs off of, you know, songs and say that they produced it. There's so much backdoor shit. So when you do meet good people that fuck with you and have good energy, you gotta stay loyal to them. And I think that's the reason why I've had so much longevity.
That was how you and I became friends, because Vic, I'll just you know, you can talk about yourself. But yeah, when I first met Vic, it was when he started Rosecrans out, probably about eight years ago or so, maybe 9, 10.
When we first linked, okay, I'll just do my intro now. So it's, I'm Rosecrans Vic. I am currently at Power 106, Brown Bag Mornings, and I have the Brown Bag Podcast. But I started in media about 11 years ago now with Rosecrans Ave. We transitioned it to Rosecrans Media recently. But yeah, I just started writing, teaching myself how to write, you know, just fresh out of college, trying to, you know, start a brand and like, you know, cover artists and do things that weren't being done. I felt like there was like a big space that like, I'm like, okay, there's people on radio, you know, ironically at Power 106.
Right.
At that time, it was like 2014, so it was probably like Kid Ink and Show Me and like Tyga and like, you know, YG and stuff, which was all cool. And I was happy for them and I listened to it on the radio. But I'm like, but there's a whole like subsection of artists that get no love, aren't being covered.
Right.
Where do they go?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I was really inspired by Andrew Barber, Fake Shore Drive, who had like that version of what I wanted to build. It was already done in Chicago. And he's the one that helped blow up Chief Keef, Lil Durk, all these people. And I was like, well, imagine that concept, but in LA.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, I had to do that. Started teaching myself how to write, interviewing artists, writing articles on people. I was probably one of the first people to ever write an article on Doja Cat, Kali Uchis, you know, all these people super early on. And, you know, just trying to like pay attention to what's going on in LA. Eventually I found Draco's music. You know, Mr. Get Dough was like big in the city. I wrote about I'm Mr. Mosley, the first mixtape. And I remember not understanding it, but being like, this is gonna be big though.
Right.
Like I need to not ignore this. You know, I need to like put this down. So started listening to him a lot more. Started getting hip with just the whole LA scene. AZ Sway at the time was big. Rob 2, AZ Colt, you know, AZ Chike was around
Rucci,
at that
Sean
time.
Mack were blowing
Rucci,
up,
Sean Mack. Mac Rucci was like a big thing, you know, linked with Cypress as well. And we'd put each other onto like new music and stuff. And then eventually my work ran into Jeff, I guess. You know, I guess he caught wind of the blog and stuff like that.
It was funny because like I'm good friends with Andrew Barber. He's like, you know, and I like my site, like I have a site called POW, Passion of the Weiss, and it's like kind of not, there's like a local focus, but not like hyper local the way that you were doing it. I would always be like, damn, I wish somebody would do what Andrew did for LA. And then I found your site and I found actually Cypress as well. And I was like, damn, like, you guys were so tapped in a way that like nobody had been, I thought, like in LA, kind of in my experience of covering journalism. And like, you know, I always was like, oh, you know, I didn't know if you were gonna be like a dick. You know what I mean? Like, cause you could be like, yeah, fuck you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna take your spot. Like, you know what I mean?
That's always a risky run when
and I was
you
like,
hit up people that are on the come up for sure.
yeah,
Right.
and you were just like super cool and like you really cared about it. And that's like the thing is like, I think when people care, and that's like what's lost is people just only care about like the clout or only care about the money.
And the views.
And they don't care about actually what they're doing, like the art, like the kind of doing something of value, and you always did.
Right.
Yeah, I remember being at Wells Fargo and I think he DM'd me like, yo, like the site is dope, man. And I'm just like, you know, like, oh, I'm about to quit. Like, I'm gonna quit soon. Like,
No,
you know,
for
because
real.
I felt like I'm like on my way, you know, working so hard. By that time, I had already been working 3 years, trying to just get my name out there, you know, as much as I could. And I had started a radio show at Dash Radio, and we had, you know, a bunch of people early. One of the people that was like, made the biggest impact with Shoreline. You know, we did like their first interview. We did Stink Team. We did a Desto Dub interview back in 2017. So we were super early and like tapped into all these artists and people that are big now. But I was just making my way. I really used the radio show as like a networking place.
Opportunity.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, every single Monday night, I'm gonna invite people I want to meet. You know, and interview them, yes, but also get their contacts, you know, build a relationship with them and stuff like that. So one time, one of the guests was Jeff Weiss. I invited him to the show, and I was just like, bro, like, you know, I want to have you on the show. Let's talk and all this stuff. Because, you know, it's like DMing or texting people, it's cool, but it's like, all right, let's link up in person.
Right.
Then I remember it was like around June, and he was like, hey, I have this show at the Echoplex, or like, you know, if you want to do something, like I have a free day, maybe we could collab on a show. He just mentioned it as he walked out the door, and I was like, bro, we have to do that shit. You know, like we got to make it happen. Because at that point, I think I had already been booking artists like at Los Globos and throwing shows there. And then so he was like, yeah, let's do this. And I'm just like, let's fucking do it.
It was like a free Monday night show at the Echo, because they used to have a Monday night residency there, and it was the band Pioneer 11, who I work with. Shout out Pioneer 11. And we figured it out, and you can.
Yeah, we collabed on a show, and we had, it's a legendary lineup. Every time I say it, I'm like super proud. It's 03 Greedo. Mind you, this is August 2017.
And it was his first show. It was his first like real show.
Yeah. At a legit venue. It was 03 Greedo.
And for free.
Frosty the Snowman.
Who didn't end up performing.
He didn't end up performing, but he showed up.
But he showed up.
Yeah.
Ralphie the Plug.
Ralphie the Plug.
Desto Dub.
Desto Dub.
Yeah, because Desto was rapping then. Like,
Yeah,
honestly, he had a
he was
good
rapping.
project.
Yeah.
Born to Sell Juice.
Born to Sell Juice.
Great song.
Born to Sell
Great
Juice.
song.
He actually can rap when he decides.
Oh, yeah.
No, he was good.
I like his verses.
Yeah. He had the song with Drakeo, was really good. Yeah.
We had
Born
Cypress
Forth.
Spinning. We had, I remember T Swish performed RIP.
Gusto Lemert.
Gusto Lemert.
Great name.
Yeah. We had the lineup, and it was packed. It was fucking
it was
packed.
completely packed.
It was completely packed. And, you know, Greedo had a legendary performance. Everybody's on stage cheering him on.
Like, everyone knew every word to Mafia
Everyone
Business.
knew every word to Mafia Business, mind you, August 2017.
It's hard to understand Mafia.
Right.
It's not easy.
And mind you, to make it even crazier, I remember we did a flyer, and shout out to the homie Blasey, because he's actually one that did the flyer. We did the flyer. Greedo got locked up while we were about to promote the show. He gets locked up, so I asked Blasey, make 2 versions, one with Greedo, one without. Hopefully he bails out before. If he does, we'll be ready.
Because like the bounty hunter had snatched him. You remember that? The bounty hunter had snatched him, took him like with like his legs shackled, and he'd already been shot, so it was like fucking painful. And they took him back to Texas.
Texas, They took him back to Texas.
In the back of a van,
So days leading up to the show, we had dropped the flyer, but there was no Greedo on it. Then all of a sudden he gets bail, gets released. I tell Jeff, like, yo, is he performing? You know, he hits him up, says he's performing. Boom, we put the flyer out. Now it's like, just added, 03 Greedo. Boom, now we have a bunch of hype because, you know, he just bailed out. And meanwhile, he was booked the whole time. We just didn't want to announce because he was locked up.
Makes sense.
So, and then it goes wild. It was a great show. I remember Greedo performed Beat That Thing Down. And then you had invited one of your homies, like a writer from The Fader, and then they posted like a video of it. And then, you posted a video of it. I think The Fader retweeted, or somehow they got connected. Then they premiered Beat That Thing Down on The Fader a couple days later. and then Greedo just like started to blow up. I would say that was like, to me, that was like the turning point of my career. And, you know, since then, me and Jeff have been rocking heavy.
We did Don't Come to LA,
We did
too.
Don't Come
that
to
was
LA.
the first, like, and yeah, Don't Come to LA was kind of a legendary moment. It was like
Oh, for sure.
2018.
2018.
Summer 2018 was sort of like everyone played like Shoreline. Freddie Gibbs played Perico. Cam and China played.
Yeah, Freddie Gibbs coming out. I remember that.
Obviously, AZ Shag played, Rucci played.
One Take Jay.
Skrillex came. Like, you remember,
Blueface.
Like, oh yeah, Blueface.
Blueface. We booked Blueface for $900.
$900. $900.
Yeah.
Not bad.
No,
and
yeah,
then,
it was a good deal.
we had a legendary. Dom Kennedy came.
Yeah, no, remember the Skrillex came at the end.
Yeah,
we're like, is that
J305? Yeah, Skrillex in the crowd just watching. Like, it was a legendary concert series that we had, and you know, it ended like 2018, 2019 or something, and we've been rocking ever since. You know, through the pandemic, everything, we've always like found a way to like work together and shit, but never done a podcast. You know,
we've been talking about it for a long time. Vic is like the James Brown of LA hip hop. He's the hardest working man in show business. Like, he's like had a hat podcast. And, like he's done. Yeah, obviously. Vic was up at 3:00 in the morning right now.
Yes,
somehow
I was.
His energy.
Yes, I was. And then shout out to you, Free. I've been watching your interviews, and
thank
you know what you give. I remember like my thing for a long time was like, I want to beat people to the punch. I want to be people's first interview. You know. Then I started seeing you were people's first interview. And I'm like, damn, this girl keeps beating me to the punch. But it's like a mutual respect once you get that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, damn, if I think I'm tapped in, she's super tapped in. You know what I'm saying? And
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Also, you had the views to back it up too. It's like, damn, like people are watching this shit as well. And you're getting all the right people at the right time. So it grows like a respect level. And then also just like how I saw you were hustling, like it didn't matter if it was in the car, in like a hotel room, like, you know, on the block, whatever it was, you were gonna get it done. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, damn, that's dope. So just seeing that, after a while, you just gain respect, you know, as a journalist, as somebody who does this, you know how hard it is to coordinate that, edit it, set it up. Rappers cancel 1,000 times before they actually want to do it.
It's true.
So it's just like all respect, you know, at that point.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, when I started out, that was one of my main focus was like, I have a small channel. I don't have like the millions of subscribers like a bigger channel would have to where they're automatically gonna watch the interview. Like, I have to really get people to watch this shit and get the artists to promote it as well and build the connection. So that was mainly my thing. Like, if I do it first, then you'll have no choice but to watch it.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, I think like one of the things that I think has all bonded us is sort of like, obviously it's like different kinds of journalism, but I think it's like rooted in a spirit versus like the modern podcaster where it's sort of like, you know, based on what's the serial number of your gun, how many times are you indicted.
Yeah, it's exploitative.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's very like vulturish and it's like creepy and weird and they don't care about anything. And like for me, like just, you know, a little more context because it's like weird. I've been doing it for a long time, but then, you know, like people are always like, there's always somebody like 22 years old who's like, I don't know who the fuck you are. But like I've written for the LA Times, I used to write for LA Weekly for a long time. I've written for GQ, Rolling Stone, used to write for Pitchfork, Washington Post, like you name it. Double XL I used to write for, like I have a bunch of funny stories about that. You know, I covered Boosie's murder trial in Baton Rouge in 2012, and I was like, before Draco, like I was, you know, in this courtroom in Baton Rouge, like that's a whole different crazy story. The Low End Theory used to be like a legendary night in LA, like was responsible for like people like Flying Lotus. It was the first Odd Future show. Tom York played there, Erykah Badu played there. I was sort of the journalist covering that. So I've been doing it for a minute. We used to have a podcast called Shots Fired. Shout out No Can Do, now All City Jimmy. And I have a book coming out called Waiting for Britney Spears, out June 10th. So I don't know if there's any crossover, but you should buy it because it's fucking funny.
It's so random.
It's very random.
He's been making this book for years, so I'm very proud of you.
Yeah, it's
tell us about the book.
Wow.
Not everything,
Fancy
but
you
tell
asked,
us
Free.
tell us what it is, because I can't see her without thinking of you. I randomly send him Britney Spears crazy things.
So many people say that.
But I don't think it's like you were a fan, right? Like
we
what is
dance the same.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the knives, really.
Right.
Yeah. I showed her that. Yeah. We both like David Lynch. No, I love Britney Spears, actually. Like, if I don't say that, then I will be murdered, probably.
Right.
But no, I do really like. The book is about when I was like very young. It's a very fictionalized version of like a celebrity journalist like following Britney Spears from her rise to her fall, and it's using it to tell it using her as like a symbol of the kind of death of the American dream and kind of the way that we destroy these celebrities and like our bloodlust for entertainment. And it sort of ties into what we're talking about. You know what I mean? It's like I feel that the way that the tabloids did Britney dirty in the 2000s is very it was the start of this kind of like dystopian moment that we're in now where like nobody actually cares about doing anything. It's all for the algorithm has consumed everything. So like no one does anything organically. It's all for like what's going to get the most views, what's going to get the most plays, and it's all based in shock value and it's based in exploitation.
Okay.
And yeah, the point of the show, and I hate that because I think like I'm probably like like a romantic in the sense where it's like I think that the world should not be like that.
Right.
But also, you can point to the past and you're like, no, actually, the world wasn't like this. Like in the recent past, and now we've like sunk into this weird, horrid future where we think this is like normal, where it's not. Like so,
it is so normal that nowadays to like for the rise and the fall to take place before all of our eyes. Like we've seen it way too many times, and it's like rewarded and encouraged. You know what I'm saying? It's like Shannon Sharp is going through it right now. It's like he was just and on top of the world a year
got like
ago.
like $100 million
He
contract
got offered
or
like
something.
$100 million, like reportedly to like for his show Club Shay Shay, I believe. And then all of a sudden, a bunch of stories start coming out and about his private life and all these things. And it's like everybody's just watching. They love to watch the rise, and then they love to watch the fall just
like
as much.
Kanye too. It's like I don't even want to give Kanye
so
breath,
sad
but
me.
it's just like because it's sad. But it's like people are so eager to just like build off like you know what I mean to get their own viral tweet off about like this guy who like once was great and is clearly going through like a extended downward spiral.
Yeah, it seems like everybody's okay with every day it'll be somebody's day.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like people not realizing that like you're next. Like you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like at any like none of us are perfect. You know what I'm saying? And we can all be accused of anything.
It's true.
And then we have to clear our names. And it's like it's a very ugly kind of like situation that I don't know if it's social media, I don't know because it started with the tabloids, but like you said, like that's kind of like I can remember that where it was like to me, I remember the Michael Jackson thing, being like a kid and listening to Thriller and loving it so much. And then all of a sudden, I turn on the Channel 11 news and every day it's like, Wacko Jacko does this, Wacko Jacko does this. Me being really young, I was like, right away, I'm just like, damn, what? Oh, he's
They're
a creep.
proud for calling him Wacko Jacko.
Yeah, that was everything.
No, but I remember them talking, but that actual terminology, no.
Didn't
I
expect the
remember
first
that.
episode to have Wacko Jacko be thrown back into the lexicon.
I know, right? That was like a whole thing.
That was a whole thing. Tabloid covers. Yeah,
they gave him a whole nickname, and
when he was holding the baby outside the window. Yeah,
and I was just like, damn, like you're influenced easily as a kid, so you're just like, damn, Michael Jackson did all those things, and I mean, well, I guess we still don't know, conclusively, but he was like acquitted or whatever. But like,
he wasn't acquitted; he settled.
Oh, settled, yeah.
But yeah.
And so you're just like, you see, but they loved him years prior.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? He was the apple of everybody's eye in America, the world's eye, really, for a long time. And fame destroys too. And it's like not having any grace. Like a lot of people, haven't been famous, and they're just like, oh, he's going crazy. He's going crazy. It's not a coincidence that, what Justin Bieber is going through seems to be the exact same thing that Britney Spears went through.
Yep.
I don't know. They haven't labeled it like an actual condition, but
with
it has
more
to be
Draco.
Something.
Right.
Shout out Justin Bieber. Honestly,
shout out to you,
it's
Justin
right.
Bieber,
Justin
for
Bieber. I
keeping the
salute
truth
Justin
alive.
Bieber.
Yeah.
I would have been
That's
a
his
believer
therapy.
like Anne Frank. I probably would have. Honestly, he started playing all that Draco, and I was like, you know what? I guess everyone was right all along about Justin Bieber.
I knew I loved him when he dropped Journals, and it was like all about sex and like fuck a nigga type music, but it was like different. It was like R&B for like all races.
He's the Justin Timberlake He's the Justin Timberlake that I wanted. I never liked Justin Timberlake.
Oh my God, Jeff, I loved him.
No.
JT?
Justin Bieber was a new and improved version.
He was.
Way cooler. You would never hear Justin. Like, first of all, when Justin Timberlake crashed out, it was like embarrassing. He's like, oh no, this is gonna mess up my tour. And it's like Justin Bieber is like,
that's
I'm gonna be playing Draco,
out.
fuck you, money. You're like, that's incredible. Like, you're a legend.
And then I'm gonna show up to Sexy Red's birthday party at Snoop Dogg's wife strip club.
Yeah, like leave Bieber alone. I'm team leave Justin Bieber the fuck alone.
Me too.
Like protect Justin Bieber at all costs. Yeah, exactly.
At all costs.
So one of the things we're gonna do in each show, we've already taped a bunch of them, but we have an 03 Greedo episode that's dropping today. Ralphie the Plug dropping next week. in tribute of Drakeo right here, who is the watching over us from in doll form. And but yeah, we do an unpopular truth because it's called The Truth Hurts, which again, pretend there's a neon sign here. And it's there. It's just, we're post-reality. And yeah, so, basically the notion comes from Drakeo. The truth was kind of his mantra that presided over everything, which most people didn't understand. But if you knew the truth, it made total sense.
You just had to refer to it. You didn't actually have to say it.
Because we do know the truth.
Yeah.
It's just, and that's I guess, part of what we're saying. It's like, people just choose to disregard the truth.
Yeah.
Yep.
But everyone kind of knows the truth.
Yeah.
And the truth hurts, and a lot of people are afraid of the truth.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Just like that Jack Nicholson movie.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
But my unpopular truth is that I think gatekeepers, not the Gen Z word of gatekeeping, but the gatekeepers, the old people that used to be, the people that had standards, people that had values, people that were like, no, this is terrible, this cannot pass, were valuable to uphold kind of cultural norms and things. I mean, obviously certain things were meant to be broken, and it's good that culture evolves, but now we're in this time where the algorithm is the ultimate gatekeeper.
Yep.
And that just leads to the most lowest common denominator slop. Everything is kind of AI now, everything's just thrown together. It's just these clips of you try to get someone on your podcast to be like, what's the worst possible thing that you believe? I'm gonna clip it out into a 90-second thing out of context. And I think that even not to diss somebody, but it's in my head, but not to diss, who am I kidding? But that girl Georgiana, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
She sounds kind of like a laughing donkey from Shrek or something.
She's the I love bad bitch too. That girl.
She's the white girl from India. And it's look, I don't have any, but it's can we be honest with ourselves? She is the worst rapper I've ever. There's it is so bad, and it's not even
She's not worse than Bhad Bhabie.
No,
Bhad Baby is good.
Bhad Bhabie is bars. No,
Bhad Baby's good. You know why? She's not a writer.
Bhad Bhabie also is is better than people. I think Bhad Bhabie has it.
Yeah, she got it.
She has it.
Her disses to Alabama were hard.
I thought
she's
Alabama
hard.
went harder.
No, Bhad Bhabie.
Okay.
Alabama got flow.
I'm
a big fan of
I
flow.
feel, honest to God, and it's no shade to neither one of y'all. I think they have ghostwriters.
Of course. That's fine.
But so if we're talking about what we're talking about, I feel like Bhad Bhabie's was truthful.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like because I'm in the industry, so I know things.
So the truth hurts.
This is also one of my theories.
I feel like hers was truthful.
Rappers are born, not made. Real rappers, right?
Yeah,
it is a personality type. And sometimes you actually don't even rap. You just have a rapper person. And Bhad Bhabie is 13 years old on Dr. Phil, comes up with Cash Me Outside.
Catch me outside, how about that?
Come on.
Come on. And she's really outside when doing it.
Yeah, would you, Bhad Bhabie could probably 100 gorillas, I'd pick Bhad Bhabie.
Yeah, me too.
I would.
Me too.
I would, I'm just sorry.
Shout out to you, Danielle.
I'm not the biggest fan. I like the Alabama diss a little more, but I hear you.
Well, why did you like it more?
I thought her flow was harder.
The way she executed it?
Yeah, to me, I'm about the flow. I'm listening to Bhad Bhabie and being like, oh, she could have went here with this rhyme scheme. It was a little all over the place, technically. You know what I'm saying? The stuff she was saying was cool.
Is the cadence.
See, the thing is, when you talking shit about somebody, you gotta put it all together.
What she was saying was probably the God's honest truth. She should have just organized it a little better, in my opinion. Yeah.
Maybe she actually wrote it herself.
Yeah.
Because she was mad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because to me, it didn't sound...
The truth doesn't always rhyme.
No, it's true. And to me, it didn't sound... I get what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
I peeped that. But
She's
I'm like,
Prodigy,
hold
he didn't
on.
need to rhyme.
This bitch is... I'm like, hold on. This bitch is speaking some tea.
I'm just saying.
right here.
I'm just saying.
She's speaking some tea.
You gotta respect the Bhad Bhabie.
You know?
You
And then
respect the Bhad
Alabama,
Bhabie.
all she really was saying was me mad about me fucking you. Well, you're mad that you think I fucked your baby daddy. That's all she was saying.
Yeah,
but
who this guy? Who
I
is
don't
this guy?
know his name.
What the
I
hell?
don't know him.
I just want to go to both of them, put them in a corner and be like, honestly, both you guys can do better.
Right.
For real.
I would have been Donald Trump when he was tweeting where he's like, Robert Pattinson leave, the Bhad Bhabie leave.
Yeah, I don't know who he is from a can of paint.
Yeah.
He's cute, but he looks young, juvenile. So
it's not like this is like like Brad Pitt in 1998 that they're fighting over or something.
No, or Ryan Felipe and Cruel Intentions.
Yeah, like you couldn't fight over Timothy Chalamet or something.
Yeah, that would be a worthy fight. Like, you bitches fight to the death for
that.
You was
Bob Dylan. You stole from Kylie Jenner. All right.
Right.
Not really my world, but I get it.
I get Bhad Bhabie's position because, okay, I kind of, and I didn't investigate it, but on TikTok, it did pop up. I get her position because we all hate an innocent hoe. Like, I'm not saying that Alabama is one, but if
I think we need more explanation
if
about
you
this.
have,
Let's hear this.
I think you need to unpack the innocent
okay,
hoe
let
term.
me
Forgive
unpack
me.
the innocent hoe term. If you know for a fact that you be doing little shit with people's nigga, and you know for a fact that you kind of bounce around, and this girl got hardcore evidence, text message. It's her baby daddy. She got text messages. She has
It's Bhad
receipts.
Bhabie's baby.
Yes.
Okay.
That Alabama, they I guess were friends, and she
Okay.
supposedly slept with them, and Bhad Bhabie went through his phone and seen the shit. So she has receipts. My thing is like, that gonna have me hot too. I might be in your bushes after that. Like, don't be innocent about it. Stand on your 10 like, yeah, I fucked your nigga, bitch. Get it back in blood. Dead homies. Like, that's how you gotta, you feel me? Respectfully.
Yeah.
She's playing the innocent role.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the part that's pissing, I think, everybody else off because now I don't know her personally, but if you look at her page, she's in a lot of different areas with a lot of rappers significantly older than her. She's very young.
Yeah.
So Bhad Bhabie's whole thing is like, you're just a hoe. You're an industry hoe and you don't have to be because you grew up privileged. Bitch, I was outside getting molested by my mom's boyfriend for me to even be on Dr. Phil. So you're not in the trenches the way that I'm in the trenches.
Actually, sorry not to, but what's her name? Alabama Barker's mom actually made a cameo in Waiting for Britney Spears, a
Listen.
book by Jeff Weiss.
Wow.
coming out
Right.
this weekend. No, actually, it's interesting because it is a similar thing. Whereas there was a nightclub called Hyde. This was like in 2007. It was the hottest nightclub in the world. And yeah, do you remember? You probably don't remember. Travis Barker and that woman Shauna Mokler, her mom, had a reality show for a while.
I don't remember
I think it was
that.
called Meet the Barkers.
Oh, they did.
that was Meet the Barkers?
Yes,
I think it was Meet the Barkers.
And
I
she
do
was
remember that.
completely different.
And
Like
she-
Girl Next Door, Sweet Home Alabama,
And the mom
that
was
whole
like
shit.
the mom was like a Playboy playmate, and then there was a thing where I think like it was like a big deal at the time,
Right.
where I think Paris Hilton may or may not have like made out with Travis Barker at this club, and then Paris Hilton I think had a friend named also Paris that like pushed her down a flight of stairs or something.
Oh,
the mom,
random.
Alabama Barker's mom.
Wow.
Right.
So it was it, runs the
Yeah. So
I don't want to.
that's the definition
I don't really want to. We're just not
of an
we're
innocent
like,
hoe.
like,
I'm not
gossip.
calling
We're not trying to-
Alabama. I'm not calling Alabama a hoe, but I'm just saying like.
But you're saying they're calling her that.
They're calling her that.
Yeah.
And then she's getting on the track and she's saying like, bitch, I didn't fuck him.
Okay.
I didn't fuck him, whatever the case is. But it's like, the minute I take the time to sit down and write a diss track to you, I did fuck your baby daddy. You get what I'm saying? Like, I ain't taking no time
You heard it
to
here
make.
first.
I ain't taking no time to sit down and go get the bloods. I don't know where she got these bloods from. I don't know if she put an ad on Craigslist for bloods. I don't know. At this point, you went in the trenches.
Chris Brown. It's always
You
Chris
feel me?
Brown.
Like, you went in the trenches to diss her back, but
Yeah.
your whole diss is about, I didn't fuck him. Nah, bitch, I fucked him. Like, that's the thing, you know what I mean? So
Good
that's
advice.
the part, what it is for me. But
What's your unpopular truth?
my unpopular truth is actually about fucking. No, my unpopular truth is that I do think that you can mess with somebody, have sexual relations, what's the word? Fellatio. I feel like you can.
Fellatio is a specific
Fellatio
act.
specific.
Isn't it though? Isn't it fucking or is it head?
Fornication, I think, is what you're
yeah,
looking
you're
for.
Fornication, but what is fellatio?
Head.
Is it? I thought it was just it in general.
No,
So I've heard.
Okay. So Jeff's heard. But yeah, so fornication, then I feel like you can mess with somebody and still be friends after.
Totally agree.
Like, people think like, oh no, I can never go back to life. The dick was too good. I'm a trip every time I see him. I feel like where people fuck up, once again, the innocent hoe thing. Like, if you know you just want your issue off, you know you just want dick, you know he just want cat. Like, if you know this is what you want, there can be an agreement that we come to early. And so then when I hit your line, like, okay, this is just like a booty call. Like, He's doing. We
You're
have
not
booty
gonna-
calls
What are you
too.
gonna present a contract? Just somebody
Yeah,
be like, all right,
here,
here's the
sign
thing.
the
This
NDA.
is gonna be a 1-month contract, and we'll renew
Well,
it with
what
an
I
option.
always say is like, just my
You have the
thing
player
is,
option.
one of my mottos always was, just because you got the 10-day free trial doesn't mean you subscribe for life. Like, that's my motto. Like, you know what I mean? So when it comes down to it, like, you can have that agreement and go back platonically just to being cool with somebody. I think where it fucks up, where people mess it up is, somebody has more intentions than the other. So that's my unpopular truth. I feel like you can do your Dougie, do what you gotta do, and you still can go back to being cool with some people. Like, I could be in the same room with somebody I dealt with, and y'all would never even know. You know what I mean? Like, because it's like, once I've already had it programmed, what's up? Then I'm on that. But the minute y'all niggas get to start lying and y'all let her do that shit, the minute y'all get to start lying, then that's when, I might be in your bushes, tires might be on flat. I won't put sugar in your tank. That's a little far. But, that's when you bring out the different side.
You're not gonna blow up you're not gonna do the Kid Cudi and Diddy.
Yeah, the whole, let me blow
Also,
your
by
car.
the way, not to go back to Diddy again, but like, who blows up Kid Cudi's car? Like
Kid
Kid Cudi?
Kid Cudi?
Like, come on.
Out of all people.
Like, come on.
Now
Just on the
that...
pursuit of happiness, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, like,
honestly.
now
He's
that I think
depressed.
about
Like a
it,
hippie rapper.
Yeah, man.
You know?
He
Like,
is.
he's
You
like-
guys
smoke
think
his
that
weed and be
Diddy
sad in peace.
might
Yeah.
have been like slightly responsible for like his kind of fall off, even though we don't feel like he fell off, and a lot of people think
Kid
it's because
Cudi?
of drugs. Do you think like Diddy might have had something to do with Kid Cudi kind of going behind the scenes?
When you have that much influence and power,
like,
possibly.
backdooring?
Yes, but I think that fueled him, at least for one album, for Indie Cud, because the cover art, I remember buying it at the time.
Don't piss me off, Vic.
It was all fire. It was like an explosion.
I
And then
argue it's
he
Kid
had
Cudi's music.
references. I listened to a lot of Kid Cudi. It was, the references to it were like, burn, baby, burn. Like, that was the opening track.
There it is.
Burn, baby, burn. Like, so it was like, fuck you, motherfucker.
Right.
Because like, if we know anything about Kid Cudi, I don't know if he could fight or anything, but he's probably crazy. Like,
He's probably got
he's
got a little emotional instability.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
He looks
saying.
like he has
Those
kill
are the worst
moves.
people to fuck with.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he's not even know what he's capable of. You know what I'm saying? Not that he's
Yeah.
a tough guy, but he's like, there's a tough guy, you don't want to fuck with him. The crazy guy, you really don't want to fuck with him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that either drives you into a corner to be scared for your life, or that makes you, just inspired to be like, fuck you!
Yeah.
So for at least that Indie Cut album, because that was around that same time, I think that's what influenced him. To me, that was like his last really good album, personally.
Right. Then after that, he's
Then
like,
after that, maybe he got some PTSD. You're scared after he got out of the moment and was like, man, I'm just gonna chill, lay back.
No, Diddy probably threatened that.
So
The block is hot.
What's your unpopular truth?
My unpopular, man, those are like great. Mine is a little more serious, but it's success without a successor is failure.
Yep.
That's good.
That's a good one.
You know
Look
what
at you
I'm saying?
getting all
And even like when I
politically
think about
correct.
it, when I think about it with like a Draco and stuff like that, it's like he has so many successors.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To where it's like he inspires so many people. So he could never be a failure or anything by any
Right.
stretch
Like
of the imagination.
his influence
His
is basically
tree is fucking huge.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest trees in rap, in West Coast rap for sure.
I would say arguably ever.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because I mean, it's like you think about Snoop, and Snoop's an all-time great, right? But like, there's no one that really sounds like Snoop. Like, Pac definitely had like a million people that sounded like Pac.
Yeah.
He had a
But
big
even
tree.
Kendrick doesn't really like. You kind of can't really sound
You
like.
can't sound like Kendrick
Yeah.
really low ball.
Except Jid, but like that's like yeah. But
So it's like, without that, it's not really like you didn't further whatever you were doing. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? When it's like it comes down to like everything. So it's like you think about that, like the true success is you're gonna have a bunch of successors. to,
Right.
like,
And
be
that
right after you.
and that also goes to like, if you think of like Suede, like the doors that Suede opened
Yeah.
for his community.
Yep.
Like the fact that like all of his crew after are eating and still can like
Yeah.
live off the park side, Huntington Park name, and his family is still taken care of. Like that's what you do the shit for.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that he was able, and Draco as well, was able to like leave that legacy with not only us as the supporters, but just with like the family. Like his mom can always, and there's like a language barrier because she doesn't speak English, but his mom can always know like my son gave everything for us to eat right now, even though he's not here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, that's definitely a really good one, Vic.
Yeah.
and then so for the last thing, we're just gonna just say incendiary things to make everyone mad. We're all gonna pick our top 5 so you can get
shit.
a feel.
Yeah.
And that's always changing. It's kind of like, you know what I mean? I'm sure your top 5 will be different, like
of all time though. We're doing all time, right?
All time. Because we
Okay.
can do current, but that's like gonna shift tomorrow. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, so I don't know. You want to start out?
Okay, so are we now, when we do the top 5, we're not doing the order of who we like the most?
No. It's just like,
Okay.
this is like your Mount Rushmore plus 1.
Okay, so of course, Drakeo the Ruler.
Why Drakeo?
Okay, when I got introduced to Drakeo's music, it was something different. And for me, I'm ratchet. So if you can get me to listen to music that's that slow, like that boring
No
of a
songs for
cadence.
girls.
Yeah,
No
no
songs
songs
for
for
girls.
girls.
Songs for
But I'm
girls.
still
Backstreet
shaking
Bandit, which is
ass
very
though. I have videos of me shaking ass to like get your boogie on and different songs where the beat just, don't let that nigga just put a quick little fast in there. I'm shaking ass.
Yeah.
And he used to laugh like, you really shake ass to my music. And I'm like, yeah, what do you mean? So it's like, for me, he just was completely different.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, this shit is hard. And then it's like, even now after Def, I still hear things I never caught before.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like I never caught that before. And I think that's what makes you timeless. And number 2, O3 Greedo, of course. I've always loved O3 Greedo's demeanor, his carelessness, his uniqueness, his ability to change his voices, the way he executes projects, the way like all of his songs sound completely different.
Greedo, as much acclaim as Greedo has gotten, he is still underrated. Like,
And
he is
yes,
an all-time
very
great
much so.
talent.
Yeah.
Pop songwriter, like he can do producer.
Beats, let's not forget
Yeah.
that. Like,
Yeah,
you know, a
invented a
lot
whole
of our
style, like-
favorite hits, Greedo made the beat
Also
for.
can do one of those artists that like kind of, I know he was inspired by
Model.
Boosie, but like I like the artists that they have a song for every mood.
Right.
There's a song for every mood that Greedo has done. Like he has a Sweet
yeah.
Lady, but he
Yep.
also has like a Never Been.
Or
but
he has
al-
If I.
Yeah.
Yep. Or one about drugs, one of his most streamed songs, Substances.
Yeah.
So he's number 2. And then after him, I would say NBA Youngboy.
Really? Youngboy's in your top 5?
Yes. The reason I love Youngboy is because Youngboy has not dropped since he has came out a song that's been trash. He does not have any trash songs. And my Youngboy playlist is not to be fucked with.
No, Youngboy is a great rapper. For
and
sure.
also, too, for him to be so young and to be able to like touch the souls of my generation as like a young crash out, because Youngboy came out crazy as fuck. He's the definition
I have some Youngboy stories.
I know, you told me so.
Yeah.
He's
I'll
the
tell 'em.
definition of a YN for real, before a YN.
Yeah.
And
I've
so-
never had that many guns pulled on me by a 16-year-old in my life.
Right. Like for him to come out and be able to grab the attention to all of the generations, ours included.
Yeah, he's
and
a blues man to me.
you know what I
Like,
mean?
I was about
and
to say that. He's like
for
a
him,
blues artist.
Yeah, for him to be so in touch with his feminine like energy, he's not feminine, but like his emotional energy to sit there and make records about the female he literally is mad at and put that shit in rap music, and now we listening to it and we like, damn, Youngboy going through it. Why my man can't talk about how much he loved me? He resonated to a different fan base, really young, because a lot of his songs are talking about his relationship with Janiyah and his relationship with this person and what he went through growing up. I just feel like he's really organic when it comes to like that type of stuff. Who else do I liked Nas a lot growing up too.
Yeah.
I liked Nas. My sister was really into that era with Jay-Z, the cassette tape era. We had Stillmatic and Illmatic on cassette and like things like that. And I just remember, hearing Ether for the first time, his diss to Jay-Z. Kids these days will never understand how he fucking publicly embarrassed Jay-Z. And Jay-Z's a really good rapper. And
It's like not like us, but more.
but more, you know what I mean? And so like,
Although to be fair, Not Like Us is the most obliterating diss song I've ever heard.
Yeah.
So like it actually might be like if Hit 'Em Up was like kind of a
Right.
tighter song.
Yeah, but
If
if
Hit 'Em
not,
Up didn't have the Outlaws like fucking it up for
True.
4 verses.
right, for 4
True.
verses.
Yeah.
Right. So
That, to be fair, that's how good Hit 'Em Up
And-
is. That people forget that you're like, oh, you were just like, I only need a 16. I'll let the Outlaws do the rest.
Right.
that was, and he literally did.
Yeah.
He literally
And
just
he
came
needed that.
on
And he's like,
so
I'll come in and just
strong.
start talking shit about Chino XL, RIP.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, like he came on so strong. So yeah, he's number 4. And then I would probably say Tupac is like number
Yeah,
5.
yeah.
I always like Tupac. Don't get me wrong, I like Biggie too, but I feel like Tupac executed more lyrical rap than Biggie. Biggie
I disagree. But
Biggie
emotionally.
made, to me, hits. Tupac was like more lyrical than me, to me,
Yeah.
personally. And like, yeah, Hit 'Em Up. I remember hearing Hit 'Em Up and thinking to myself like, whoa, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
Like I was like young and it started off so
janky.
strong. Like that's why I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker.
That is the best opening.
Like what? Like that's what we're gonna start with? Okay, you're on time, man. So that's my top 5. Who's yours, Vic?
Mine is Lil Wayne.
Okay. Oh
Lil
yeah,
Wayne.
Lil Wayne too.
Why
Yeah.
Wayne?
Lil
I
Wayne
can do.
is
I'll do Wayne and Tupac as one.
Lil Wayne is like very much my era.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I feel
Loved
like
Wayne,
I
too.
grew up with Lil Wayne. It feels
What's
like
your favorite Carter?
the Carter 2.
Good
The
show.
Carter
Yeah,
2.
yeah. What's your favorite mixtape?
No ceilings.
No
Me
ceilings.
too.
No ceilings.
No
Me
ceilings,
too.
really.
No ceilings.
No ceilings.
He did Ice Cream on
Yeah.
that one. Wasted.
I feel like
Drought
I know-
3,
I know the words to every
Drought
song on that.
3
Yeah,
is mine.
I feel like I might know every lyric
Me
on
too.
No Ceilings.
Me too.
It was a specific time in my life. Like I was working at Taco Bell. I was 17 years old. It came out. That was like the soundtrack to my life at that point.
Yeah.
And he built so much credibility with me just since I was a kid. I was like 10 years old. Lil Wayne was probably like 14 or 15, and has the best verse on Shine.
Yeah.
From my head down to my shoes.
Get cake like it's get cake like it's your birthday.
Like I'm a
yeah.
fucking vegetarian, and he's on the quads, and I'm just like, I want to be Lil Wayne. He's having the most fun a kid ever had in his life.
Right.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
You think Little Bow Wow had fun?
Oh
Little
no!
Romeo.
When I see
like-
Lil Wayne, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this
Yeah.
is fucking no, yeah.
Yeah, no.
To me, that and then to continue, like to start at that point for me, it was like one of my favorite artists at that point. Then kind of grow with me to continue to be one of my favorite artists until probably like in my 20s.
But did you like Rebirth, the rap rock album?
No, but I like Prom Queen. I like Prom Queen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really listen. I'll listen to Prom Queen
I like
right now.
Prom Queen,
Yeah, I
and
listen to the other shit.
I do
though.
not like Prom Queen.
Yeah, I
He
love
had
it.
something else on there that I liked.
Drop the World featuring Eminem.
Yes, I like to Drop the World.
Okay. Did not like that
I
song.
don't love it, but
It's
I'm
not
glad they did
terrible.
it. I'm glad they did it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
That album was
I was
pretty
pissed
bad.
though about it.
That
I
album
was mad.
pretty bad.
Yeah.
I was like, Wayne.
I had to review it. It was pretty bad. Actually, the worst album though I've ever heard is the Gucci Mane and V Nasty album, which is still the worst album I've ever been paid.
Can't
to
believe
listen
that
to.
was made.
Yeah, like,
I can't believe that was
like
made.
right before he got locked up, and
Yeah.
they're like, "All right, like you should have got locked up for that."
Shout
not
out to
like-
V Nasty.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a
V
deep cut
Nasty.
right there.
It's a real deep cut. But
Yeah.
go on.
So that's one. It's Lil Wayne. 2 is Jay-Z.
Okay.
Jay-Z, like
You have a favorite Jay-Z project?
Reasonable Doubt.
Yeah, reason.
You know,
That's
it's
it might be
not,
the
not
one.
to be cliche,
Might be the
but
one.
That's
Right.
the one I go back to the most, and I just no other album makes me feel that way.
Right.
That's
You
a
know what I'm
good
saying?
point.
And
Yeah.
it's like, and it's not even like, I mean, I don't even know what the singles were. What like
It was
Ain't no-
no, it was
like-
the Mary J. Blige. Was it?
I don't
Can't
listen to
Knock
the
Can't
like the
Knock
singles.
Hustle?
Like
Oh, it was Ain't No. Was
Ain't No,
huge,
yeah.
because
So,
that was
like-
on the Nutty Professor soundtrack.
yeah,
and
Ain't
that
No
popped
is
him
cool,
off.
but like every other song,
I agree.
like,
Ain't No's the worst song on the project.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Every
yeah, I
other
agree.
song is so fucking incredible. 22 Twos, The Evils,
Cashmere Thoughts. yeah.
Cashmere Thoughts. Like probably one of my favorite songs of all time is Can I Live?
Oh, it's so good.
R.I.P. Irv Gotti
Brooklyn's
for making
Finest
that
too.
beat.
is
Yeah, so it's
good,
like
yeah.
that album to me is like beginning to end. I'm gonna listen to it forever and ever and ever. And then even just the later stuff, like there's always just some sort of like bar. Like Jay-Z's bars are different. They're real life practical bars. Like he's not gonna say some fairy tale shit. He's gonna say some real shit about
Right.
real life that's gonna like always stick with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he has a line like about like empowering your crew. Like, you know, if everybody's rich, then your clique is rugged. If one falls, you can be each other's crutches. It's like
Right.
I always think about that shit. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So that for me, and then he's just like, you know, even to like 444, like, you know, I'm not old enough to get to that stage of life, but just like maturing and shit like that in music was so dope to me. You know what I'm saying? I was like 25 when that came out, and I was like, okay, I'm not in this state of mind yet, but I'll be there, and I know when I'm there, I can listen to this album.
Right.
To me, that's so fire.
Also a great young boy OJ. That's
Yeah.
that song. But yeah, both that songs. Yeah.
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 So, you know, that's Jay-Z. Nas, I've been such a big fan of him
Me
for
too.
such a long time. I had a Nas phase where like I just listened to nothing but Nas. Nas is like, you know what I'm saying, incredible song that I love. I remember playing that on my MP3 player. And just continues to put out music that I like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like he's good for like, if he was an NBA player, like he's still good for 20 and 10.
Yep.
Whenever he gets on the mic.
Yeah. Totally.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So like I'm still a fan of his. The stuff he's done with Hit Boy, still incredible. and still tapped in, has songs with Blast.
Shout it out Drakeo.
Shout out to Nas for shouting out Drakeo.
That was incredible.
Yeah, that meant a lot.
It did. And then Kendrick, to me, Kendrick is like, another artist I grew with. I first discovered his music in like 2006 on the Black Wall Street Journal Volume 3. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I was listening to mixtapes at the time, and I remember he had a song called Cali N-Words, and I was like, who's this guy rapping? Like, talking about catching fades over dice games at Centennial. And I was like, this is hard. And he sounded so young. And mind you, I was probably 14, and he's talking about being 17 or 18. So I'm like, oh, like, he's not that much older than me. He's like my generation somewhat. So like, just like that relatability, knowing that we were going through our teen years together, and he's a local kid, just up Rosecrans in Compton, and then going to the overly dedicated part of his career, then Section 80, then Good Kid, Mad City, where he blew up, and then just being like, wow, like the biggest artist, like the biggest new artist is from 15 minutes up the street. Like that's so fire to me. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I was gonna ask you, because I'm pretty sure, I don't know if you've ever answered this.
Yeah.
Why is your name Rosecrans Vic?
It's because I moved a lot as a kid.
Okay.
But I always lived around Rosecrans.
Oh.
So it's like I was born in Inglewood.
So more like towards Kendrick's side?
No, well.
Because it's
yes
long.
and no. Yeah, it's long, right? So I was born in Inglewood, grew up in Lenox.
Okay.
From there, and my grandma lived in Hawthorne. I'd always be at my grandma's house right there on Prairie and Rosecrans. So I'm like, okay, this is like a familiar street. Every time I'm on Rosecrans, I could go see my grandma. Then we move out of the South Bay. We moved to Bellflower, Downey. I remember being terrified. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Where am I? I'm so far from home. All I knew was the South Bay area. That's where I went for everything. Then I'm like, I see a street. I'm like, oh, that's Rosecrans. Like, wait. I'm like, is this the same street that goes all the way down? My dad's like, yeah. I'm like, so if I drive all the way down this street, I could go to grandma's house. Yeah. I'm like, okay, that's awesome. Always, kind of stayed in my mind. Fast forward to like high school time, I go to a Downey school, but I live in Bellflower, but I'm right next to Paramount. I'm sitting in this like tri-city area that I don't feel like I'm from any of the cities.
Right.
I'm like, oh, that's a Downey kid. That's a Bellflower kid. That's a Paramount kid. What the fuck am I?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it felt like I was just from that little square, which was like Rosecrans and Lakewood and Clark and stuff like that. So then I moved back to Hawthorne. Now I'm living on Rosecrans myself with my grandma. So it's like all along I'm just running into this street that's
It's like the umbilical cord of your life.
Exactly.
Right.
It's always tied into me. I'm never too far away from it. So when it was time to start a brand, I was inspired by Fake Shore Drive, which is a play on Lakeshore Drive. And to me, I'm like, what's the heartbeat of the city? A heartbeat, like a city that doesn't get as much shine as it should. Now it does. Now it gets so much shine, and I'm so happy for it. But you got to think about back then, it was just Slauson, Crenshaw, Imperial, you know what I'm saying? Sunset, Hollywood Boulevard, La Brea. So I'm like, all these, streets are so dope to me, but my side isn't represented enough. You know what I'm saying? And the thing too is that like, if you go to any freeway in LA, the 5, the 110, the 105, they all have a exit that's
To Rosecrans.
Rosecrans.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like at any moment I can be home.
Right.
When I'm in LA.
Did you get, did people think you were a blood, or did you get pressed by the Bloods?
Never. I don't know why.
That's
like,
a question.
You would think,
Look, I don't know why.
Yeah, to be honest, I thought it would have happened.
Blue hat.
Maybe. But I think it's because I've been around for so long.
Right.
So, and I've never, disrespected, and I've always just bigged up, anybody that's from that area in particular. You know what I'm saying? And I've done what I can for any of those artists. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, there's a song called Gang Gang.
Right.
That's like viral on
so
TikTok.
good.
I sent that shit so fast to Power, and I'm like, we need to play this shit.
Right.
Right? And it's
Are
getting
they playing
rotation. Yeah.
I'm from
That's
the
great.
Deuce,
That
the
song
folk,
is-
that
the
one.
mixtape,
I love it.
I'm sliding down Rosecrans. You know what I'm saying? So I show a lot of love to that section. Also, my grandpa lived in Compton off of Rosecrans and Lime. So it's like I'm familiar with the area. It was all along that street, you know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like always tied into my life. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's a crazy, and also it's a randomly
Boom,
Manhattan
boom,
Beach
boom.
too, which is
Yeah,
like
Manhattan
completely
Beach.
180 degrees different from like other parts of
but
Rosecrans.
even that, like I grew up going there
Yeah, my
a lot.
cousin grew up on Rosecrans.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, and
not that
that's
bad,
the thing too. It's just like, what I love about the street is, it goes for 27 miles. I was born on the 27th. It just has a lot of things that like tie
Yeah,
into
significance to
me.
you.
And it goes through the good, the bad, and the ugly of LA. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's what I've been through in my life too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Because I always wondered. I just never asked.
Yeah.
And your real name's Jeff?
No.
it's Hefe.
Or it's Jeffrey.
My real name is Hannibal Moncrief, actually.
Because my real name's not free. Spoiler.
Yeah, no. If my name, it's just me and you. I thank God Young Thug existed to like save Jeff's, because it was
True.
because Jeff Epstein.
Are you a Jeffrey?
Jeffrey Epstein really
Oh,
was fucking it
yeah.
up, but thank God
He
I have Young
was.
Thug.
Are you a Jeffrey, Jeff?
I am, but I think you can't go by Jeffrey. I think at a certain point.
It's
like,
creepy.
What are you, the butler from Fresh Prince of
Right.
Bel-Air?
Jeffrey.
You know? Yeah.
Are you a
Jeff?
junior?
Free.
No.
Hold on.
Right.
No.
Jeff Free.
That's really funny.
We're still here.
Yeah. Whoa. All right, my top 5.
Oh, wait, I didn't finish. Sorry.
that was
sorry.
4?
That was Kendrick.
Kendrick, Wayne, Jay-Z, Nas.
Ice Cube.
Random.
Yeah, 30.
Ice Cube.
We were
But
at the
he hard,
30-year
though.
anniversary, I think, or this 5th year anniversary this week, I think, of America's Most Wanted.
Yeah, Ice Cube. I went back, you know, obviously because he predates me, but I went back and like listened to America's Most Wanted. That shit was fire. You know what I'm saying? Like just even the subject matter, the stuff he was talking about.
Kind of invented gangster rap as like a lyrical concept. I mean, obviously, Eazy-E invented the branding and the kind of like iconography of it, but like Ice Cube kind of invented it as like a literary art form.
Yeah, and even like he's
he did.
still sharp to this day. Helped the Dodgers win the World Series. You know what I'm saying?
What he do, predict it?
No, he performed. He performed better than fucking Fat Joe.
We don't need to talk about his politics. It's fine. He's
Oh,
getting
that,
a
no,
little
yeah, we
weird.
won't touch that one.
Yeah, it's fine.
But-
You know what? He's old.
But he had 2006 on Smash. Even after all that, like he had, you know, that era where it was like, I don't know if the album was like Laugh Now, Cry Later or something.
Dude, he had We Be Clubbin'.
That's what I'm saying. He had We Be Clubbin'.
I didn't look at him
We
the
Be
same
Clubbin', I
after
still
being
know
in
every word
Players
of We Be
Club.
Clubbin'.
Because We Be
Why do I
Clubbin'
know
is my
every word?
shit.
He had If You Scared, Go to Church with Lil Jon. Like, he had like another
Also-
run. Gangsta Rap made me
Also,
do it.
by the way, probably the greatest transition to film.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
Friday, Boys in the
Yeah.
Hood, like Higher
Yeah.
Learning, like
And
I
he
mean,
reminds
the
me a
list
lot
goes
of my
on.
dad for some reason. They just
we
have the
there
same
yet?
demeanor.
Right.
So I'm always gonna have love for
I
Ice
didn't
Cube.
look at him the same after Players Club, though.
After Players Club.
No. No.
Yeah.
I didn't like how he played like a wimp so convincingly in Barbershop when he was running away from the dude that was trying to get the barbershop back.
Yeah.
I mean,
I forget he's
spoiler
in
alert,
Barbershop. That nigga has a lot of
when you
movies.
meet him in real life, you're like, I'm sorry, you did not have a triple double. Like, it was a good day. I'm like, you are 5'5", you are not getting 10 boards. That is not happening. Also, why are you keeping score?
Yeah.
Right.
Who keeps score and pick up basketball? It
Right.
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that was
Great
a
rapper,
lie.
but
that was a straight lie.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's my 5th.
All right.
What's
yeah,
yours?
My top 5, I have thought long and hard about this, and it's easier to do a top 10, but like my top 5, like Drakeo, I have to because like it has such a personal meaning to me.
Yeah.
But I'd also argue that there are like a bunch of like of the great West Coast rappers, right? There's a few ones. Obviously, Cube is amazing. Snoop, you can say just for pure style alone.
yeah.
Kendrick, I think, is a great choice. He's earned it at this point to be in people's
Right.
top 5. For me, Drakeo reinvented like everything about like West Coast street rap,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
entirely, right? So like that, like
No more
whereas-
Dickies and flannels.
yeah,
in his
right,
voice.
style, right? Like style,
Yeah.
like people didn't dress like that. Cars, people didn't dress like that. Like lingo, people started saying it like the way he rapped. It was a completely different cadence. The beats he chose, like he took ratchet music and made it nervous music, and it's like they're similar sounding beats, but like there's
Yeah.
a sinister element to it.
Yep.
He would take the beat. He could take any ratchet beat and then just make it
Evil,
nervous music.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it was like a conversion machine of evil. In
Yeah.
the, and like
Yeah.
the way he talked shit was like 50 or a Cam. Like no
Yeah.
one had ever done anything like that. And like for me, like I'm a writer. Like that's like my like if I don't consider myself a good journalist. I would never call myself an artist with a straight face. But it's like I'm a writer, and Drakeo to me is like the great writer. And like I admire anyone that can like take a word and make it something completely different and invent a new meaning. And the way that he would like layer syllables is really complicated. And obviously he's not a storyteller in the conventional sense, but I do think like his catalog is a story,
Oh, yeah.
right? Like
Yeah,
it's like
of
one
course.
long, endless
Of his
scroll.
life and what
Yeah.
they experienced.
I mean, he told a great story on Impatient Freestyle.
Yeah.
Like that was I could picture
and
everything.
Mastro's tension with his blind cousin.
Lord.
There was
Rest
a
in
lot
peace,
of-
friend.
Yeah, there was a lot of like certain specific songs where he did a great job of storytelling, setting the mood where like he put you right there.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I thought he wanted some. Oh, he just wanted a picture.
And
Right.
like his catalog is so like for someone who was obviously prematurely taken from us, his catalog is so deep.
Oh my God,
It
it's
is
amazing.
so deep. I mean, there's like, and there are no bad projects to me. I
None.
think they're all great. I think like, and we talk about an artist that like like kind of like Jay-Z in the sense where it's like I keep hearing more, or
Yeah.
Nas, like I keep hearing
Yeah.
more in Drakeo that I didn't catch the first time. Like
Yep.
even I'll listen to Impatient or like the Betua freestyle. Like
Yeah.
I'll catch something, and it's like it'll be like a line like Mailing is a home run too, and I'm
Yeah.
like. Jesus Christ, that's like it's like if you
or-
you have to know what it means, and it's like a
Yeah.
home run, and
Right.
it's like Jesus fucking
Or the one that
Christ.
always like makes me laugh and tickles me. He says 3:30's like I'm carrying a duffel. Like 3:30 like I'm carrying
you're
a
leaving
duffel.
school.
Yeah, but he has
Yeah.
3:30's.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
You
yeah.
feel me?
Yeah,
3:30's.
totally.
And it's
Yeah.
like, it's just, he has
Yeah.
that one, and then he has a lot.
Yeah.
He has a lot that I
There's
could
so
think
many,
of that
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, I'll hear it now when I'm listening to it, and or even like the references. Like
The
Vince
Simpsons references, like everything is
Vince
you're like, what?
McMahon,
Yeah.
like my brother texted me like he listened to wrestling. I'm like, that nigga knew everything.
He knew everything.
He knew everything.
No, I always say that. Like he would just like I'd like talk to him about like the Boosie case, right? And my
Yeah.
experience covering it, and like law shit that I knew. And then the next day, like he'd be on Twitter just ranting, and people would be like, "Are you ghostwriting Draco's tweets?" I'm like, "No, he's like a sponge. He absorbed everything I said
Yeah.
while he was probably doing 8 other things,
Yeah.
and then spit it back out in the Draco voice, like the next day, or Jug. He was telling Jug to tweet it
tweet
out,
it, yeah.
but like live, make
Yeah.
tweet it. All right, so Draco, I have to. I'm with you on Pac. I think Pac, like nobody, like without Pac, you probably don't have a Kendrick. I remember the first time I ever like met Kendrick. He was like, it was right. I think Good Kid, Mad City was already out, and I remember him running, or maybe I actually don't know if it was. Maybe it was between Section 80 and Good Kid. But he was like, you need a song in every album that makes you cry, just like Pac. And that was like his guiding principle. Obviously, he's like the mortal man. You know what I mean? The interview and all
Yeah,
that
yeah.
stuff. So I mean, Pac just no one had more emotion. A song for every mood. Some of the hardest music ever. Like
yeah.
it's like you don't know if you want to cry. I like the artists where it's like you don't know if you want to like go into a rage or you want to cry. And then to me, those are like the polarities of emotion. And
Right.
like I've chilled out as I've gotten older, but definitely when I was younger, that was like those were the governing impulses because I used
Yeah.
to fight a lot and I played sports and like
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna have to go with Ghostface Killah from my because I think Ghostface Killah is like Draco in a lot of ways, just like an incredible writer, supreme clientele.
Yeah.
Like I was a huge Wu-Tang fan. Like Wu-Tang was I was
Like people still try to dress like
Ah,
him to
he's
this day, like
the
how he dressed
coolest-
in the '90s.
he
you
must
know
have
what
had
I'm
an eagle on his
Yeah.
arm. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like a gilded eagle on his arm.
Yeah,
Like,
and then he would find
fur-
the coolest ways to keep rapping
the
about
fur
it.
coats, like I
Yeah.
mean, like also like
Yeah.
a big ass dude. Like people
Yeah.
like that's the thing about Wu-Tang. Like a lot of rappers, like I mean, like you meet them and you're like, not to say, but like some rappers are probably not living their raps. But you meet the Wu-Tang guys and you're
Yeah.
like, these guys are big.
Big.
Yeah, like Ghostface, like 6'3", 220. Like you do
Well,
not.
I think like in their generation, telling the truth was of the
You had
norm.
to.
You
Oh,
had
yeah.
to tell the truth.
Yeah.
Let niggas find out that you really was like an internet gangster. We can have the internet like that
Yeah.
as a big
No,
part
no.
of the culture.
Studio gangster was a
Yeah,
thing back
studio
then.
gangster
Yeah.
or something
Yeah.
like that. So that's why I think it was so organic because everybody is literally telling the truth.
And also people will be like, oh, Ghostface is just saying crazy gibberish. But you're like, no, actually, I feel like I could interpret like Ghostface
Yeah.
rhymes. Like,
Yeah.
like it was like like it's hieroglyphics. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And it's like also, I mean, just Supreme Clientele to me is the best rap album ever
Yeah,
made.
and
I mean,
he's still sharp.
yeah, totally. I mean, like I'm not gonna put Outkast on it because I feel like everyone wants to go with Andre, but I feel it's not fair to Big Boy. And like they're if like you're talking favorite group of all time, like
Yeah.
they might be my favorite group of anything. But I would say but like they're in there, and Jay-Z and Nas are of course like great choices. I would say
yeah. I loved Outkast a lot too growing up.
my 4 is I gotta say Biggie because it's just like Biggie. I'll put it this way: I interviewed Wayne once, right? And I actually a couple times, but one time I was like in Miami and like it was like the whole funny story. I'll tell. I'm sure I'll like repeat it 55 times in the course of this podcast. But I'm like next to him, and it's like late, and I'm like, he's like smoking a blunt, and I'm like, who do you think's the best rapper of all time? And he looks at me like, pfft. I thought he was gonna say Pac. You know what I mean? Because like he reminds me
a
of
lot of
Pac.
Pac energy.
And he just looks at me like, you dumb fuck, like Biggie. You know? And like if you really listen to Biggie, like the way he would rhyme words, the way he used language, the fact that he never wrote that down and somehow could use language like that, he could make pop hits like that. He could do anything.
My
like,
slow flow, incredible.
Yeah.
Like,
there's not like, it's like we talk about like there are artists like Drake. I don't think has like a bad song except maybe the Drake song, but like it's not Drake's fault. But there are no even mediocre Biggie songs to me.
My favorite Biggie songs are not the hits.
Yeah.
I don't really like, I mean, not that I don't like the hits. Everybody likes the hits.
Oh, yeah.
Hypnotize and, you know, all this stuff. But like, I love to like delve into his catalog and then go into like a deep album cut that I forgot about.
Oh, my God.
You know what I'm saying? And then you just listen to like the pure rhyme and
like
then
you're nobody till somebody kills you.
Those songs were him.
Yeah, totally.
Because the other songs were Diddy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it was like, I need you to make this or I'm not letting any of these songs
you know when
out.
like Diddy found Biggie, he would like be like, yeah, Biggie would just rap like 600 bars or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, I taught him to make songs, and I was like, honestly, I would rather have Biggie rapping 600 bars.
If
like,
Biggie was still rapping 600 bars, still might have been alive. Like he would have just kept the low pro. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
And my last one, you know, I have to go because I think you have to go with kind of there's no Southern rappers on my list. I'm gonna go with Future.
I was thinking of Future.
Because Future is, people don't, we have like a video essay from my guy, William, shout out William, top tier. But nobody mentions Future in the big three, which is insane. Because to me, the big three actually of the last decade, it's like, I think it's embarrassing if you have Drake and J. Cole. Sorry, everyone. Like it's so embarrassing. You should like redraw your entire taste for music if you have those two in your big three. The big three is, there's actually only one big three of the last decade as far as I'm concerned. If you're talking commercial, because I think you can't put Draco and Greedo on it, but I don't think most people would. If we're talking like commercial, successful rap, like huge superstars, it's Kendrick, it is Future, it is Young Thug. That's it.
Yeah.
In that like mainstream industry sphere. Yeah. And I think Future, again, kind of like the Pac thing, song for every emotion.
Oh yeah.
There are crazy lyrical songs, like a song like Shit. He's like has 8 different flows in that one song.
Oh, yeah.
You have a song like Perky's Calling, like that's one of the most emotional songs I've ever heard in my life.
Oh, for sure.
Right. Or the one about when he gets locked up, 50 Cent, what is it called? The one about
56 Nights.
Yeah, that's like
March
he really
Madness.
got locked
March
up.
Madness.
Like, I mean, and it's like he can make like incredible bangers. And
Throwaway.
like, he has all you need
He's
to know is
toxic as fuck.
he has a banger called Peacoat. Peacoat. He has a song, and like for me, I like a coat. Like a big coat. And he made a song about like, so yeah, Future. Also, I find strangely emotionally relatable, not necessarily the toxic stuff, but there's a misconception about Future, I think, that they're like, he hates women. And you're like, look, I'm not here to litigate how Future feels about women, but from the art that I have seen, it is actually the Future loves women way too much.
Yeah.
And he has so much pain from it. And if you have ever actually, and if you have those kind of emotions where you have tried to make things work and they have not succeeded against all the effort, you can hear it in Future.
There's a theory that says like Drake is Future and Future is Drake, like what the perception wise at least,
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
To where it's like Drake really doesn't give a fuck about these hoes, but he acts like he does.
Yeah.
And then
They're always
Future
unnamed.
really gives a fuck and acts like he does.
So I interviewed him around the time of Honest, right? Which was like an underrated album, but like clearly
a lot
not
of
his
people
best.
don't like that one.
It's not his best, right?
Yeah.
And there's some moments, there's some incredible moments up, but anyways, I interviewed him, and this was when he was with Ciara. And like it was for like a dumb men's magazine that no longer exists, and like they made me ask all these like stupid questions. And one of them was like, how did you know that you were meant to be with Ciara? And he was like, the angels were singing. And you're like, oh, you love her. Like, you know what I mean? And it was like, it's so sad that he couldn't make, you know, and then it was like, then he made Monster.
Ciara or Sierra? That's what you were talking about?
Yeah.
That way, the way you said her name, Jeff, why you say her name like that?
I mispronounced everything.
That went right over my head.
Body
I'm thinking
Party
like,
one? Yeah.
oh, maybe this is an
Sierra?
album they're talking about.
Ciara.
I don't know why. I feel like I get the name confused. Like I say, like there's other times I'll just say Sierra, then other times I'll be like Ciara.
Yeah.
Just
Which one is
depends
it?
on-
I've never
Yeah.
heard nobody put an accent over it.
But now that I think about it,
She's French.
now that I think about it, when she did the song with Missy Elliott, they say Sierra. So
Yeah.
I'm sure it's Sierra.
I also think that like you can dictate like the polarities of dating from the fact that you went from Future to Russell Wilson. Like I could write you like a 10,000 word essay.
I have a theory that says you either die a Future or you live long enough to become a Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I
It's
think
true.
like, you have to be a Russell Wilson to eventually have happiness.
You do.
Like, you have to, like, you have to
I'm
submit.
in my Russell Wilson phase right
Totally,
now. You know,
yeah,
because
yeah.
I was Future for a long time. And now it's like, I'm Russell Wilson. I see it. I like it here too.
Without
You know
like the
what I
love
mean?
of
I like it
cops.
here too.
Yeah, like he just, and you know what's funny is like you want to say like Russell Wilson is square and all this shit. Like
He is.
keeps putting babies in that girl. He's nonstop.
And he
He's
loves
like-
her, and he's
like-
argued with Future about the child support and stuff. He don't mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like
yeah,
that.
Yeah, I fuck with him.
Me too.
Not me. I'm still team
still
Future.
Future?
I'm still team Future. in
Not
this.
me.
Yeah.
He
Spiritually.
made peacoat, man.
Spiritually,
Right.
man. Just like brothers.
I got a
come
trench.
on.
No, you know, what's, I was literally considering.
Let Russell Wilson make a song like that.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
shit, yeah.
Also, he only won one Super Bowl. It's fine. Future's won
Yeah.
like 6.
And he's going viral. His memes are so
His
funny.
music is still great.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right, well, let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like, subscribe. I don't know how do
Like,
people
comment, subscribe.
and share.
yeah.
Like, comment, subscribe, and
follow
share.
us all on our own pages?
If the links will be in the bios
Shout
to our
out-
pages
Shout
and
out Pro
stuff.
Club.
Big shout out to Pro Club.
Listen to the O3
Wearing Pro
Greedo
Club.
episode. Ralphie coming next week.
That's right.
We got some hot shit coming, you guys. And make
right.
sure y'all keep the truth alive. Don't tell the truth, but keep the truth alive.
Let me tell the truth, but you know,
Don't be scared of the truth.
Yeah.
The truth will be scared of you.